Let's learn the laws of indices. The first one, we have what we call the multiplication law. That is, when we have x raised to the power a multiplied by x raised to the power b, the same base, x and x, the multiplication law states that this is going to be equal to x raised to the power a plus b. That is, just add up their powers and retain the base. Let's look at an example. We have 3 raised to the power 2 times 3 raised to the power 3. Using this law, it's going to give us 3 raised to the power 2 plus 3. Add up their powers, and that gives us 3 raised to the power 5. But assuming we don't know this law, we would have said 3 raised to the power 2 times 3 raised to the power 3 would be equal to, you split this out, 3 times 3, that's what 3 raised to the power 2 means, then times 3 raised to the power 3 means 3 multiplying itself in 3 places. 3 times 3 times 3. Then you now bring it back together. How many 3's do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 raised to the power 5. So instead of going through this longer method, this law is telling us, okay, we can just add up the powers without having to split them out like this. Now the second law, which we know as the division law, if we have x raised to the power of a divided by x raised to the power of b, the law says you just have to subtract the powers. That is, pick the first one, the power of the first one, a, then this division becomes minus the power of the second one, b. Let's look at an example. If we have 3 raised to the power 5 divided by 3 raised to the power 2, this is the same thing as having 3 raised to the power, pick the first power, 5, minus, because this division means minus, then here 2. So here we're having 3 raised to the power 3. Now you can also decide to take the longer route, that is splitting out 3 raised to the power 5, saying 3 times 3 times 3, multiplying itself in 5 places, then divided by 3 raised to the power 2. When you divide it out, you will still come back to having 3 raised to the power 3. So this is a shorter way to solving expressions. The third law, x raised to the power 0 equals 1, provided that x is not equal to 0. That is, any number raised to the power 0 that is not 0 is equal to 1. Example, you have 5 raised to the power 0, that's equal to 1. Now the fourth law, we have x raised to the power a, then everything all raised to the power b. This is the same thing as having x, then you multiply the powers, a times b. Let's look at an example. If we have 2 raised to the power 3 all raised to the power of 2, what does this mean? This is the same thing as having 2, then you multiply the powers, 3 times 2, that is equal to 2 raised to the power of 6. But if you have chosen the longer route, that is 2 raised to the power 3 all raised to the power 2, it's the same thing as having 2 raised to the power 3 times 2 raised to the power 3. Then here you split it out to give you 2 times 2 times 2 for the first 2 raised to the power 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. And here we'll be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 raised to the power 6. So instead of taking this longer route, the law of indices, the fourth law of indices just says multiply the powers and you have your answer. The fifth law, let's say you have x times y all raised to the power of a. This law says this is going to be equal to x raised to the power a times y raised to the power a. An example, if we have 2 times 3 all raised to the power of 2, this is the same thing as having 2 raised to the power 2 times 3 raised to the power of 2. The sixth law, if we have x over y divided by y all raised to the power of a, this is the same thing as having x raised to the power a over y raised to the power a. Equally, when you have x raised to the power a over y raised to the power a, it can be worked back to be having x over y all raised to the power of a. An example, 6 over 2 all raised to the power of 2 is the same thing as having c raised to power 2 over 2 raised to power 2. Then from there, you can simplify further using the division law. The seventh law, whenever we have negative powers, what happens? Let's say you have x raised to power minus a. What does this become? This become equal to 1 over x raised to power a. That's this minus makes it a fraction. 1 over x raised to power a. An example, 2 raised to power minus 3 would be equal to 1 over 2 raised to power of 3, which is equal to 1 over 8, because 2 raised to power 3 means 2 times 2 times 2. 2 multiplied in 7 3 places, which is 8. Then the last law, what if we have fractional powers? What happens? How do we simplify that? Let's say you have x raised to power 1 over a. This is the same thing as the 8th root of x. So an example is you have 8 raised to power 1 over 3. This is the same thing as having the cube root of 8. And cube root means give me a number so that when you multiply it by itself in 3 places, will give me back this 8. So the cube root of 8 here would be 2, because we can multiply 2 by itself in 3 places to give us back 8. And these are the laws of indices. Thank you.